Hey guys, it's Mrs. MacPhail and
Mrs. Gonzalez.
here with some more fun stuff for you to learn today. Your objective by the end of this lesson is to identify and name line segments, lines, and rays. So our gift to you is some cool ways to learn vocabulary for this lesson, and this website will be available for you to go to whenever you would like to take a look at vocabulary. Here's one of your terms, line segment, which connects two endpoints. A line, which is a straight path that extends forever in both directions. Endpoints, a point at the end of a line segment or ray. And ray, which is a straight path starting at the endpoint and continuing forever in one direction. So those are for you to access whenever you'd feel like it. We'll put a link up for you so you have them. And now this, as we turn it over to Mrs. Gonzalez. Go for it, my dear.
All right, what I'm going to do is draw something, and I want to see if you, Mrs. MacPhail, can tell me what it is.
Okay.
What would this be? Is this a segment? Is this a line segment? Or is it a ray?
It's totally a line segment.
How do you know it's a line segment?
Because there's no arrows on either end.
Oh, there's no arrows. So what these have, usually, are endpoints. You don't always see the endpoints, but usually they're there. And they have letters. I'm going to call this one Q, and we'll say this is endpoint T. And what I want to do is come up with a name for this segment. It has a name just like people have names. I'm Mrs. Gonzalez. I'm here with Mrs. MacPhail. We both have names. So I'm going to name this segment. With segments, what I want to do is draw a little mini segment right underneath it, just like that, a little small one. And then I want to use the letter that's right next to one of these endpoints, so this is Q. And it travels down in a straight line all the way down to T. And then I say, hello, T, I ran into you. I'm going to write T down here. So I would say the name for this segment is QT. But you want to know something else really cool, Mrs. MacPhail?
It is a cutie of a line.
Oh, it is. I didn't even notice that. But the really cool thing about it is I can flip the letters around. It has two names.
No way.
Yeah, two names.
Two names.
So instead of calling this QT, I can go the other way, and I can start at T and travel down to Q.
Wow.
So I can also call this segment TQ.
So awesome.
Okay, now I'm going to do another one. Let's see if you can figure this one out.
Okay.
I'm going to draw it right across, right over here, and it's going to look like this. Ooh, think of that vocab. What did I just draw this time?
An arrow.
It does have one arrow, and we call this a ray.
Ooh.
This is a ray. Now, rays are a little bit tricky because they only have one endpoint, and this is where the ray starts from, and then it travels down. Kind of like the sunshine. We say we have rays of sunshine. My sun is right here, and it has a ray which travels down towards the earth. So rays have a starting place, their endpoint, and then they travel in a straight line. This endpoint is going to be called Z. Now, I'm going to put another point on my ray. It's not the end point because it's not at the end, but it's still a point. So this one is going to be called P. So now what I want to do is name this ray. Here's the tricky part. Are you ready for the tricky part?
I am ready.
Okay, it can only be named one way because it starts here and travels down this direction. So the only name for this ray is ZP.
Oh, I get it. It travels. You name it in the direction the arrow is traveling.
Yes, that is exactly right. I cannot flip it around because it doesn't start at P. It starts at the letter Z.
Very
Got
cool.
it?
I got it.
All right, let's do the last one. So then the last one I want to show you is a line segment. This is tricky because it says line segment. We heard about segment up here. This one is called line segment. So I'm adding on the word line. That's hard to see, isn't it? All right, so line segment, spelled like that. And what I'm going to do is put 2 points on my line segment. I know it's a line segment because it has two arrows. This one's a little bit hard to see, but it's here. And I'm going to put point L, and I'm going to put point O on my line segment. Just like with regular segments, I can flip it around and name it two different ways. So I can call this segment line segment, LO, Or I can call this segment, line segment. Which way didn't I go? Let's see, this is tricky. L to O, I need to do O to L. So O would be first and L would be second. All right, I have one more thing I want to show you. Sometimes you will get a test question and it will give you one endpoint here and one endpoint here. Actually, you're going to see this not in a test, but in your journal. And there might even be another dot up here.
Ooh.
And they're all going to have letters. But I called them dots earlier. These dots, when we're studying geometry, these are called points. And if they're at the end, they're called end points. So I'm going to call this point R. This one's going to be point S. And this one is going to be point A. And I want to draw we'll just see if we can figure this out here. I want to draw this. Is that a line, a segment, or a ray?
It's definitely a line.
Oh, it's a line. That's right, because there's two arrows. So I want to draw a line SR. So what I have to do is find where is S and where is R. Here's S, here's R, and I know that line segment's going straight line, so I'm going to connect them. And then I can even go a little bit past the point, and I'm going to put one arrow here, keep going down, and one arrow here. All right, I have one more I want to do, and then I think we're going to wrap it up for the day. I would like to draw a segment RA. So I'm noticing here, there's a symbol, there's no arrows, that's how I know it's a segment, and I have a letter R and I have a letter A. So I'm going to find R, I'm going to find A, and I'm going to connect them with a segment. And that takes care of our lesson for today. So go ahead and take the quiz.
Yeah.
And good luck, everyone.
Cool.
We'll see you next time.
See you later.